Hey, welcome back. We're going to do strength day today. So we're going to focus on some important areas that get missed in the yoga practice. Often people will say to me like, oh, I only need to do yoga for my exercise. I wish that were true. I wish you could just do yoga, but it's really not a complete system of physical exercise. So we're going to hit some of the areas that we can miss through the yoga practice. Maybe there are like some crazy poses that if you like, I don't know. Somebody's going to like argue with me, but whatever. Okay, so lie down on your back and we're gonna do bridge lifts on the chair. So you're gonna need a chair and a band for today's class. So you want this chair to be right about hip height. You can use a bench instead. If you don't have that, we're gonna take the heels up onto there. And we're gonna work the hip hinge from here. So with your heels up onto the chair, find neutral with your rib cage, shoulders down, neck long, and then as you press into the chair, lift your hips up. And then lower down. Now, before you lift up, I want you to squeeze the muscles in the back of your leg and bracing your core, hug all four sides of the rib cage down, lift up. And lower. And then let's repeat this 9 times. Use the exhalation to come up, and as you inhale, try to control it down, go slow. Exhale, quick up, and then inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, quick up. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Keep that going. So as you lift and lower this way, you're working what's called an eccentric contraction. The studies done to help with building strength in the muscles of your tissue, strength and control, show that eccentric contractions are the best way to do that. So the slow lowering phase, that's the eccentric contraction. The pushing up quick is less important for really changing and affecting the muscle tissue if you're interested. So if you're just like swinging yourself around with weights and shit, then you're not really getting the eccentric. You're not getting the muscle building portion as well as when you just practice this way. Last one. Good job. Okay, now let's do a scat push-up into a push-up. So you're gonna need a block and we're gonna lower from hands and knees. Now if you're more advanced and you can do it without the block, that's fine with me, but maybe come over here like you're gonna lower your chest onto this block with the knees down, however it feels comfortable. All right, so you're gonna come onto your hands and your knees, framing the block so that you can lower your chest to it, and you can adjust so that it feels comfortable. Now, instead of having the elbows come right into your sides, you're gonna give a little bit of space. So the elbows will kind of wing out to the side a bit. So the first action is when you're on your hand and your knees, without rounding your spine, you're gonna try to keep your spine in neutral, and you're just gonna try to elevate the whole spine up and keep this spread. So you're pushing the floor down with your hands, you're elevating the spine up, elevatoring, and then breathe here into all this. Now come into neutral. Then maintaining neutral, lower down onto the block. Pause, and then maintaining neutral, lift back up. Good, now elevate the spine without shrugging the shoulders. Come into neutral. Hold your head up into alignment with your spine. Now control yourself down. Pause and control up. Elevator the spine, push into the hands without crunching your shoulder blades up. Come into neutral. Lower slow. Lift back up. Elevator the spine. Come into neutral. Keep your head up. Lower slow. Control up. Elevator spine. Back to neutral. Lower slow. Pause. Control up. Elevator spine. 40 more. Into neutral. Lower slow, keeping the chin tucked but the head neck long. Push up, control up. Last one. Elevator spine. Try to get more from up here. Oh, it's getting fatigued without crunching. Ooh, serratus, this tends to be weak on yogis. Come to neutral. And then lower slowly. That's the eccentric. and then control up. Squeeze your glutes core. Good job. Nice job, Amber. All right, now, if you want to work together, rewind that and do both of those again. And so we're doing 2 sets of that. Once you finish your 2 sets, or you can just pause and you can use your memory. Once you finish your 2 sets, we're going to come up and we're going to do a pulling exercise mixed with a squat. So what we're doing in this, the theory is that we're working opposite, we're working a pulling and a pushing. So from the back, you're working the back body, the backs of the legs, and then you're doing a pushing exercise. This, we're going to do a pulling exercise to work the back, coupled with a front body pushing exercise, a squat. So for this, you're going to come onto the knees, and we're going to try to get this high enough to where you're almost mimicking a pulling action like this. So then you'll hinge your hips back towards your heels, arms straight. Do you want your mat for under your knees? All right, I got this one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so once you get your knees onto there, you'll kind of hinge your butt back so that your arms are almost into an overhead position. Okay, now maintaining this, brace your rib cage, keep your neck long and neutral, and then as you exhale, you're gonna pull down, and I want you to feel back here, you're moving the elbow to pull instead of pulling from your wrist, and you should feel in the back in your lats, you're working. Then slowly control it back up, and as you exhale, pull the left elbow and feel the squeeze come back here, the movement from the elbow. Oh, this is perfect, Amber, good job. And then control it back up. That's the eccentric. Don't just let it fling. Exhale, concentric, pull. Inhale, slowly back up. Exhale, pull. Now it should feel like by 12, you can't do another one, so you can use the resistance band that works for you. Keep it going, Amber, nice and slow. Now we're going to go both arms at the same time for the second half, working our way up to 10 to 12 of these. Keep pulling from the elbows, and I want you to feel the contraction back here. So it's kind of a trick because you're getting really good core work at the same time, having to brace your core in this position. So we're getting great ab work as we're getting the ab back work too. And you're doing a good job at home, I hope, of not closing your chest and hunching over. You can see Amber's keeping this really good posture for her shoulders and her neck. And when you've hit your edge, when you feel like, oh man, I really can't do another one without losing my form, then you'll stop. We got one more to go and control it out. 3 seconds to let it out. Nice. Okay, then stand up and we're gonna do a squat. So you want enough tension in the band to where you feel like it's supporting you. So you can pretty much, I think with the tension from that last exercise, you should be good for this. Now, what this will help you to do is having your arms out in front of you, it will help you to be able to go deeper into your squat. So it's gonna train you in the depth in the squat. So we'll give it a shot. So first I want you to balance in between your heels and your toe mounds and then slowly start to sit back. And then come back up. Now, just because I know that this is Amber's tendency is for the pelvis and for most yogis, when we go for a squat, because we're so used to doing so many up dogs, our pelvis will want to go like this. So at home, I want you to put a tuck into your tail, so that your tail is being stretched straight down. And you should feel your abdominal wall turn on when you do that, as opposed to, you can see when I stand like this, no abdominal activity. When I move my tail straight down, okay, now my abdominal wall turns on, from the front and the back. So bracing there, keeping the little tuck in the tail. Now, can you sit back like that? Oh, damn. Pause right there, abdominal wall strong, and then drive through your feet to come up. Good, slow on the way down. Now it's gonna be confusing because your body's not used to squatting like that. It's gonna be like, how do I go back if I'm tucking and then come up? Keep your rib pipe aimed straight down. Slowly sit back. Pause at the bottom and then strong through your feet to come up. Let's do 6 more, I think. Working our way up to 10 to 12. Be on the center of your heel. Be on the ball of your big toe, not favoring the inside or the outside of the ball of the big toe. And notice how Amber squeezes at the top. She squeezes the glutes as she holds the top position. Nice. Does it feel like it helps you go a little deeper that way?
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
cool. So either pause the video and run through that set together now one more time, or you can rewind it and do it again. Now we're going to do some shoulder and abdominal stuff. So we're going to take this strap and we're going to do, for the obliques, this might be a good resistance. I don't want it to be too hard. For your obliques, you're going to do a twist. So you're going to brace by putting a little bend in your knees, and you'll hold the strap out in front of you, and you'll make sure that you feel first your abdominal wall turn on. You're not going into hingy, you're not tucking, but you're going to stand like that and make sure you can feel it. Then you'll slowly let the band go back, go slack, and then use your exhalation and move it forward. Okay, let's give it a shot. So for this, probably your lightest band will be enough, but doubled up, but you can feel at home to make it hard. So bring it straight out in front of you, and then you're challenging your body's ability to hold the abdominal wall here. And this might be enough for some, just, oh geez, can I just hold that? As you inhale, slowly put the strap into slack. And then as you exhale, come back to the position or even further like Amber can do, still keeping your core braced. Inhale to slowly control it back. Exhale. And keep it going. Stay even in your feet. I wonder what Ollie's thinking about.
Food.
Oh, you want to eat some rabbit, Ollie? And change sides. So you'll walk out away from the wall until you feel it's a good amount of tension. Like, ooh, it's really going to try to knock me out. Then brace in your core. Slowly let the strap go back. And exhale. Good. 8 times. Make sure to keep your tailbone lengthened down, your rib cage straight down. Nice. Okay, now remember that face pull exercise that we did in the first one? That, to me, that is one of the most important shoulder exercises. So if you have extra time, you can throw that one in. But in addition to that, we want to be working the external rotators from this position. So you're going to hold your, just one side of the band for this one, I think should be enough. You don't want to do a lot of tension on this one, but this one you can just hold in your other hand. All right, so you're going to stand with your, I'm really good at explaining this. You're going to stand with your elbow braced in your side, and you don't want it to move around, so if your elbow tends to move around, you can stick like a towel or some of Stacy's yoga pants right in there so that there's no movement. Okay, so now from here, instead of using your neck or your shoulder, or sorry, your neck or your jaw, you're going to try to rotate just the shoulder to move the band. And the wrist will want to do it too, so try not to move the wrist. And you should feel back of the shoulder stuff turn on, and then slowly let it out, and then squeeze to pull, and hold there. And slowly exhale. Try not to let the rest of the body move at all. Exhale. Keep it going 4 more times. So because of everything that we do in front of us in yoga, all the pushing, these muscles get really weak, turned off, and as a result, the shoulder head will want to sit onto the chest, which we don't want as yogis. So this is going to help to strengthen the muscles in the back to hold your shoulder in a better position. And then change sides. Yeah, good job. Keep your chest pointing straight ahead. Look straight ahead at something that's not moving, and feel the movement just coming through the back of the shoulder. Feel the arm bone rotate in the socket to move instead of your wrist yanking it, instead of your head, neck yanking it. Keep your chest pointing forward. Don't let the chest turn. Get just the rotation in your arm. Good. All right. Notice how Amber really focused on getting the eccentric, which was that slow, controlling back movement. She didn't just let the band snap back. All right, the very last one that we're going to do, we're going to couple this into a superset. You're going to stand on the band, and we're going to do a lateral raise, which I think these will give you too much slack, so you'll have to just hold it from the hooks instead, I think. Maybe even choke up on it a little bit. Baseball terms. Okay, so turn to face the camera so they can see what you're doing here. And then scoot back just a little bit, I think. Okay, now you're going to step one foot into the strap, and then you're going to, instead of being straight up and down, you're going to tip from your pelvis a bit and angle yourself just slightly so that we can affect the rear delt as well as the middle delt when we do this. So when common way to do this exercise is just with the hand parallel to the ground, but as you go up, I'm going to have you do a little bit of external rotation, because we know that that tends to be weak in most bodies. So you're getting the middle delt, but you're also hitting a little bit of the rear delt when we do the external rotation. All right, so slight hinge forward, and then you're going to take the arm not straight out to the side, but at a slight angle forward, working in the scapular plane, and then rotate the shoulders externally at the top so the thumbs come up. And try to lift right up to shoulder height if possible, and then control back down. And lift up. And we're working up to doing 10 to 12 of these to where you feel like, oh geez, like I can't do another one without losing my form. This one, I like a less resistance band. So what you use for pulling overhead, that could be like triple the strength of this one. You don't want a ton of resistance. You really want to focus on the form in this movement. And here's a movement where we don't really get the strength of the shoulder. As yogis, we're not doing anything to strengthen this movement, the pulling back movement. So this will help to give you healthy shoulders over time and balance out all the pushing, all the chaturangas and the planks that we do. It's so important, so necessary. Make sure it's not coming from your neck. Feel your core brace as you lift up. So your last set is these 3 movements. The abdominals with the external rotator with the lateral raise. So you can pause, or well, the video is done now. So you can just repeat those on your own or rewind and do those again. All right. That's all for today. We'll see you next time. I thought you were going to say something. All right. See you next time. Enjoy.